It was a lot like a bank opening at home. Banners, speeches, decorations, dancing, lots of food, and people having a good time. But this bank is very different. This community bank makes small loans only to poor women. It's located in the home of a borrower in the middle of a poor neighborhood barrio. These borrowers elect their own bank officers. They collect loan payments and decide who can borrow. This community bank helps these women start their own home-based businesses and teaches them how to manage and save money. These banks offer credit and an opportunity, not charity. We traveled a long way for a bank opening, from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Managua, the capital of Nicaragua. A few months earlier, our church had raised funds to help start this bank, and we were special guests for a celebration. Well, it sounds kind of strange, churches and banks. You'd think they come from two different worlds. But all churches have as their mission in some way to change the world in a positive manner. Not to just do works of charity that provide hands out to the poor, but to provide a hands up, a way to empower poor people to change their own lives, to take charge of their own lives. And microcredit and microenterprise banks are the most direct, simple, easy, straightforward manner in which we can empower people to help themselves. The bank was named Miss Betty to honor Betty Morrow, a member of our congregation who led the fundraising.
It gave me a whole new idea about how people could help themselves, and it made me proud to be a woman and to think of these women as my sisters.
This is an important day for both of our communities. We came to Nicaragua to learn about micro-enterprise and to see these micro banks in action and to meet these remarkable women.
We picked Nicaragua because we had a few people in the church who had been down on the medical mission in 1996 who were very impressed with having visited one of the microenterprise banks under Finca in Nicaragua. And so we decided, why not start with something we already had some familiarity with. And of course we knew the need was very great because Nicaragua is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And so there are a lot of poor women who would like to make a living. Micro-lending is supposed to seek out the poorest of the poor, and those are nearly always women.
At first glance, it would seem that a poor woman would have little chance to be a successful entrepreneur in Nicaragua. Without collateral and a credit history, getting a loan from a traditional bank is impossible. A poor woman's only source of credit are the coyotes, the name for the loan sharks in the market. They charge 20% interest a week, collected daily. Poor women see their profits swallowed up by interest. They continue working very hard, but slip further and further into poverty. For the women we met, a small loan from a community bank is their only chance of earning more income for their families.
It is seeing with very little money how many women's lives could be given new meaning, how these women could have hope for their children and for themselves, to raise their standard of living by probably 5 or 6 times in 1 year with a very small amount of money.
The bank we helped fund is one of more than 400 community banks in Nicaragua, serving more than 12,000 poor women. These banks were created by a nonprofit organization called Finca, the Foundation for International Community Assistance. Since 1986, Finca has pioneered micro-lending to the poor in Central America.
I think they had a staff of something like 64 people. for those 434 banks. So a very effective administration. So it's a great example of how they don't waste the resources by extensive high cost of administration. When you go to these small banks, the individual banks, then where you can see what few resources can do.
The loans average about $100 US. We wanted to know what a woman could do with what for us is such a small amount of money. Like any good business owner, the borrowers showed us their wares and even gave out free samples. Some women make clothes. Loans allow them to buy a sewing machine to increase production. Some prepare food and sell food or candy in the marketplace. The loans enable them to buy the ingredients at a better price and make higher profits. Others sell clothing. A loan helps them to buy more clothes more cheaply. Another woman gave a live demonstration of her business. Her loan allowed her to buy quality barbering tools. The loans are for 4 months at 3% interest, and installments are paid back at the weekly borrowers' meeting.
Nosotros por eso tenemos que ser cúmplices con el dinero, porque es prestado, no es que nos vengan a regalar, ¿verdad? Entonces nosotros tenemos que ser cúmplices.
These charts are the loan repayment records of the borrowers. These banks have a remarkable record of the borrowers paying back the loans.
As a businessman, the payback results is fantastic. Any banker that had that would be astonished. 98, 99% of the loans are paid back. The term is that they're paid back in 4 months, and they get this results within the 4 months. Then at that point, when they're paid back, they have the opportunity, if they still need, they could have a second loan.
We learned that there are more than just economic benefits for Finca borrowers. Many of the women in this bank had been domestic servants and had to spend a lot of time away from their own children. Now, running their own businesses allows them to stay closer to home and family. We also visited the workshop of one of the borrowers, a maker and seller of colorful souvenir maracas and ornaments. Her daughters are now part of the business, and the whole family came out to meet us. Business was brisk for these attractive and personalized handmade items.
I see the microbanks working because the people that manage it are basically the people who borrow the money. And they rotate the offices every 4 months. So you have, out of that group, you'll have the president, the treasurer, and 2 or 3 directors elected, and they manage. They oversee each individual account. When the accounts are having difficulty paying, they may make some suggestion to help them. They may also have to take it on the chin and say, this situation is something we can't overcome. And amongst them, most of the banks will commit, okay, we'll make that loan up. So it's a real community commitment and an effort that they undertake to be sure the total bank survives.
The level of poverty is shocking. And yet, in contrast, the level of hope is incredible. These people have nothing, and yet hope has not died in their hearts. They still have the belief in themselves that they can lift themselves out of poverty. And that kind of experience changes you.
Back at the Miss Betty Bank, the celebration was ending. We handed out souvenir T-shirts, we waved goodbye, and headed home, knowing we'd help begin a community bank that would continue to grow.
It was a great feeling of hopefulness about the whole situation of poverty in the world, to see these women taking charge of their own lives and the proud looks on their faces, you know, since they've been able to join a banking group. What it does for women's self-esteem is just unimaginable to a person who hasn't seen it happen.
Maybe we took some money down there to start a bank. An amount of money which for Americans is not a great fortune. And yet what we brought back was priceless. And that's a sense of human possibility, that with a little bit of help, people can change their lives. And their hope is contagious. you come back feeling that all things are possible again.
Y le doy las gracias a Dios por habernos ayudado positivamente, digo yo, porque yo antes siempre he hecho esto, ¿verdad? Pero no tenía muchas facilidades para trabajar, ¿ves? Y ha venido a ser de gran bendición y ayuda para mí, porque ese préstamo me ha fortalecido mi economía.